Alright, legends, welcome back. You crushed the like goal again. So here we are with part 11 of our story. I'm thrilled you're all hooked, and believe me, the best is still ahead. If you're hungry for part 12 today, let's smash 2,000 likes on this one. You know the deal. Your support keeps this going. Now let's jump right back in. Right after Yona made her offer to Ingrid, he immediately responded, "Sorry, but I'll have to decline." Yona looked shocked. "Why not?" she asked. Jackson entered behind them and said, "Clinging after rejection is just pitiful." Then the elf commander walked in and said, "So that's what this was." Yona nodded. "I understand. You'll be receiving a message from the company soon. I need to prepare myself now." Jackson showed up with Ingrid's squad and said, "Trying to get the company heiress, huh? You into hard-to-get women?" Ingrid replied, "Nope, that's not it." Jackson smirked. "Then maybe start working on your habit of throwing yourself at random women." Ingrid responded, "I didn't throw myself at anyone." The elf commander said teasingly, "Got rejected, huh? Must sting." Ingrid answered with a sly grin, "Sorry, my taste has changed lately." Jackson was stunned. The elf commander looked surprised, too. Outside, the soldiers were whispering, "Wait, did you hear that? He flirts with women and ditches the commander? That's wild." The elf commander gave him a look like, "What do you want from me now?" And poor Ingrid just sat there awkwardly. The next day, Chris came over. "So, I heard everything, Captain. You spent the night with her after just one day?" The soldiers teased. Now he seduced the company heiress too? Turns out he's not a spell breaker. He's a heartbreaker. Ingrid muttered, "You're here to mock me too, Chris?" Chris replied, "Nope. I'm here for guild business. We need routine inspections." Ingrid smirked, "Perfect timing. I got a job for you." Ingrid thought to himself, those attackers who fled. We need to track them and confirm their identities. If we don't, things will spiral. Then we get a little background. The Rockford Trading Company's former head, Rhaenys Rockford, was a brilliant, kind-hearted merchant. He saw Yona, his adopted daughter, as bold and wise, worthy of inheriting the company. But he couldn't bring himself to fully abandon his blood son, which left him in deep confusion. So in the end, Rhaenys Rockford, once a titan of trade, died without officially naming his successor. And worst of all, the assassination attempt failed. Now we see a carriage riding along, surrounded by guards. Inside, a man says, "Told you, you should have used our help." He's talking to Walid Rockford, son of the late merchant. Walid replies, "I acted too soon." The other man grins. "Should we smooth things over as planned? We still have a deal, right?" Walid nodded. "Yeah, of course. Once I become head of the caravan, you'll get your reward." Next to them, another man sits in silence, completely quiet. Soon, they arrive at the inn where Yona is staying. Walid sneers, "Dusty air in here, calling me to a moldy old place like this. Typical Yona." Ingrid notices that man beside him. He's insanely strong. Ingrid stares coldly at him. The man returns the look, then glances away indifferently. Walid then calls out, "Hey, you over there, go get Yona." Ingrid thought, good thing he asked nicely. If Reem were here, he would have done this instead. He'd have charged into the city and axed the guy right in the skull. Just then, Jackson pulled a knife. But Ingrid stopped him, gripping his hand. He turned to Walid, "Hey, peasant, what are you standing around for? Move." Yona came down the stairs and snapped, "Don't shout when everyone can hear you." "Am I late?" Walid scoffed. "Late enough. Quit the nonsense and stand up straight." Yona slapped him hard. Ingrid thought if I were him, I'd have backed off. Nobody here is normal. Walid shouted, "Are you crazy?" Yona fired back, "No, you are. You just touched someone under the protection of the Holy Guard. Want to rot in prison for life." Walid stammered, "I didn't know you were under their protection." The quiet man behind him coughed. Walid scrambled, "I didn't do anything. That slap was totally staged." "You outsider girl, you dare scream like that in public." Yona snapped back, "Yeah, just like I said, I'm just a girl your father adopted. But you're too dumb to grasp what that even means. You can't understand words. You can't even count properly." Walid barked, "That's something a servant would say." Yona stood firm. The next heir should be chosen by mutual agreement, as our late father wanted. This whole drama is a waste of time. Ingrid thought, the former head of the caravan must have been really weak. No matter how you look at it, Yona is clearly the one fit to lead. Maybe he just wanted to give his son the tiniest chance. Yona said, "Your only claim to the caravan is your blood. They the old man's son. Walid replied. That's the most important reason of all. Yona fired back. You sure don't resemble him. But that ugly mug of yours? That you definitely inherited. Walid exploded, drawing his sword. You witch! But Ingrid immediately stepped in, grabbing his own blade, and moving between them in a flash. The silent man beside Walid noticed right away, and began drawing his sword too. Everyone suddenly froze. Ingrid thought to himself, that guy over there, the way he stands, his stance, it's that of a lightning-fast swordsman. I wonder how fast he really is. Faster than Reem's axe? Faster than Chris's sword? Faster than Ragnar's strikes? Come on, show me your blade. The man drew his sword, and Ingrid drew his own with a wicked grin. But suddenly, someone shouted, Enough with the nonsense. We are border guards under direct royal command. Sheathe your swords immediately, or this will be treated as high treason. Bolide looked shocked, and then they all turned to see Jackson, standing tall, voice firm. Ingrid remembered his words. There's no one normal in this place. And Jackson thought to himself, You're the strangest one of all, Ingrid. Then Torres added, The prisoners we just brought in are mercenaries, foreigners. That makes this a matter for the border guard. They confessed to following orders from the caravan. He glared. Don't tell me you hired mercenaries to influence the succession dispute. One of the men near Bolide spoke up. There's no proof linking this to the caravan. That's not enough to accuse anyone directly. Torres narrowed his eyes. Sounds like your main suspect is a smooth talker. You think border guards can't even sniff out what stinks. Yona stepped forward. If I may, I'd like to propose something. Let's find new, clear evidence about the external involvement. Torres replied. For now, both sides involved in the dispute will be detained. Bolide immediately protested. I refuse to accept something like that. Ingrid glanced at Yona, surprised. She's volunteering to be detained? Torres continued. Ideally, we detain everyone brought here, but all they claim is that they were following their commander's orders. Yona interjected. There are still people we haven't questioned. Some survivors ran off during the incident. One of them might be the mastermind. Let's track down those who escaped and question them. Torres nodded. And if we can't find the real culprit, Yona finished the sentence for him. Then the border guard will have to continue its investigation. But we can't keep discussing the succession issue here forever. If this goes on, I'll return to the caravan's city branch. And if any mediation is needed, both sides must agree to comply immediately. Ingrid thought, once she leaves this place, she'll no longer be protected by the Sacred Guard. Yona's team isn't strong enough to stand against Bolide's men, especially that guy I've got my eye on. If she leaves, she'll die. She must know that. So what's her real plan? Yona declared confidently, I'm a merchant. I don't do anything for free. So I'm offering a reward to whoever captures the remaining escapees. She pulled out a silver dagger. A special edition, 4th series Carmen dagger. This goes to whoever gets results. Jackson's eyes lit up. In that case, I'll handle this dagger matter myself. Ingrid blinked in surprise. Why is Jackson so fired up all of a sudden? What's the deal with that dagger? What kind of weapon must it be to get Jackson this excited? Bolide snapped. You've gone insane, Yona. How could you put a Carmen dagger out there like that? It's priceless. Yona answered coolly. I own it. I take care of it. So I decide what happens to it. Ingrid turned to Jackson. Is it really that incredible? Jackson replied. You'll see for yourself. That weapon was forged by Carmen, a master weaponsmith. He was once a slave, who turned into a killer driven by vengeance. He created 7 unique weapons. This dagger is number 4. People have died just trying to get one of his blades. Torres declared fine. Everyone in this tavern is now under house arrest, supervised by the border guard, for 2 days. No one leaves this place. Understood. Ingrid turned to Jackson. Don't worry. Already sent Chris to go track down the fleeing soldiers. He'll report back soon. Bolide muttered angrily. This is all such nonsense. And the man beside him shot a long stare at Ingrid. Ingrid stared right back. But the man simply turned away and left. That night, Bolide sat in his room muttering to himself. If they catch her, what then? His comrade replied. We can't be easy prey for the border guard. Let's wait a bit. If there's no ceasefire, then the final word goes to the investigator. We'll use that to our advantage. Bolide said, then no problem. I already sent out everything I needed to. If my heirs get their way, more than half my money will go to them anyway. Then the same man who was eyeing Ingrid now watched him through the window. Ingrid was training hard. He was drenched in sweat, practicing endlessly. After finishing, Torres approached him and said, "You really are repeating the most boring training in the world over and over without stopping." Ingrid answered, "Shut up, Torres." Torres smirked. "You know what this feels like? Like I'm watching a real warrior return after being gone a long time." Ingrid responded, "If time meant nothing, maybe. But talent time is different from learning time. What takes a gifted one a week might take me a whole year. That's why I can't afford to waste time. No, I refuse to. Living one more day, just so I can build a wall slightly higher than the day before. That's the best I can do." One of Torres' soldiers muttered, "That guy's kind of strange." Torres gave him a quick glance. Ingrid said, "I think I've trained enough for strength, to be honest. But your body and senses still need sharpening. What do you say? One more round, you and me." Ingrid laughed. Suddenly, the crowd erupted with cheers, shouting, "Nice work. That was amazing." Torres rushed toward Ingrid, and Ingrid charged too. Both clashed, wooden swords stopping at each other's necks. Someone shouted, "7 wins in a row for Captain Ingrid." Torres grinned. "See, you little punks? These are my real skills." Another soldier scoffed. "Really? You're saying that after 4 losses?" Ingrid grinned. Again. Torres groaned. "You're insane. Aren't you tired yet? I've gone up against you 11 times already." A soldier nearby shouted, "Hey, my turn next." Someone next to him laughed. "You too?" Everyone's fired up. Meanwhile, from a window above, Borat muttered, "Ugh, what are these noisy idiots doing in the middle of the night?" Another fighter charged at Ingrid and knocked him flat on the ground. Ingrid looked up and asked, "What was that move? Can you show me again?" The man stared at him. "Are you serious? You nuts." From above, one of Bolad's men watched quietly. He doesn't seem upset about losing. It's like a kid who just got a new toy to play with. He keeps challenging stronger opponents, knowing full well he'll lose. What a weirdo. Still, compared to him, Ingrid can't adapt quickly to new techniques, even after losing to them 3 times. His combat instincts are weak. We see the opponent throw Ingrid down again, then again, a 3rd, 4th time. But this time, Ingrid holds his ground. And finally, he flips the man and throws him down instead. Torres raised his brow. He did it. He actually won. Someone laughed. About time. Took him 10 tries. Who's up next? Captain of the unit walked over. "Doesn't anyone here believe in holding back? You're all reckless. Seriously." Ileana smirked. "Ah, I see. So the rumors about you two are true." The captain waved her off. "No, they're not." Ileana laughed. "Relax, I was just teasing." But the captain added, "Actually, I'm married." Ileana blinked. "Wait, really? But you're not wearing a ring." Ingrid sighed to himself. "Good grief, they're totally distracting me. I really wish the new recruits would show up already." Just then, a voice came from behind. "Hope I'm not interrupting. Mind if I join?" It was Bolad's personal guard, the same guy who had been watching Ingrid all day. Torres narrowed his eyes. What is that guy planning? The man thought to himself, "Ingrid, huh? He's not exactly talented in the way I'd expect. But something about him makes me want to teach him, even if I can't explain why." Another soldier grunted. "You're not from around here, are you? Why don't you just stand there in the corner and watch?" Ingrid cut him off. "Actually, I've been waiting for this moment for a while." The man chuckled right in Ingrid's face. Above them, Jackson observed carefully. He thought, even if that guy's only using a wooden staff, he's insanely dangerous. Jackson slowly reached for his dagger, ready to jump in if things went wrong. Now, Ingrid and the mysterious man stood face to face, ready to fight. The man raised his weapon. Ingrid shivered. That feeling, it cut straight through me like a blade. It's like I'm standing in the middle of a real battlefield. Our hero Ingrid activates his wide vision technique. He mutters, "I can see it clearly now. That attack path. There's a slight curve in its trajectory, but it's definitely a threat. If I deflect it and try to follow up." Before he finishes his thought, the opponent strikes lightning fast, pressing a wooden sword right against Ingrid's abdomen. Everyone around gasps in shock. The man says calmly, "You read my attack correctly, but you're far too slow." Ingrid thinks to himself, that strike was insanely fast, way faster than I imagined. I really thought I could beat him, but I was wrong. The gap between us is massive. He's overwhelmingly ahead of me. Ingrid lets out a chuckle, then says, "Want to go again?" The opponent responds, "Your stance is perfect. Nothing to criticize." After countless rounds of practice, Most of the spectators have actually dozed off, all except the commander, still silently watching every move. She thinks to herself, any sword bearer would feel despair when facing someone that powerful. The gap in strength is blindingly obvious. But why doesn't this kid's determination ever break? From above, Jackson comments, by keeping his eyes locked on the attack, the surprise and speed lose impact. He could repeat this attack endlessly, but he still won't land a hit. I should teach him a technique that better matches his style. The old man wipes his brow. I'm starting to feel the wear of age and cracks in my body. Ingrid replies, you look exhausted, but honestly, you're incredible. That staff of yours, and your skill with it. I think someday it'll be considered legendary. The old man chuckles to himself. To me, you're even more impressive. Shame you don't have a little more talent. The next day, Chris returns, leading a group of captured soldiers. He salutes and says, Captain, we caught the runaway mercenaries. Ingrid nods. Good work, Chris. Chris smirks. Honestly, it was pretty easy. Lyona steps forward. You must be one of Captain Ingrid's men. Thank you. Torres steps in and points at the prisoners. Hey, tell me, who trained you? What merchant caravan did you come from? He's speaking to the captured mercenaries. One of them, named Bullet, looks like his pride is about to be crushed. But the captured man speaks up. That guy, he's from Espen. Ingrid reacts with surprise. The mercenary continues, yeah, Espen orchestrated all of this. There was a plan to monopolize trade routes. We don't know who gave the direct orders or much else, but the mercs just wanted their promised money and rewards for the goods. Bullet, standing nearby, looks utterly stunned. Ilyona said, from here on, this whole matter will be handed over to the border defense to settle things fairly. Torres looked at her. Huh, you seem oddly satisfied. Didn't you want that ugly idiot to be the culprit? She replied, of course I did. There was valuable intel at stake, but now, there's nothing more I can do. Torres nodded. No problem. We'll handle it from here. Release all the caravan detainees. We see the wagons moving again, slowly rolling out. Jackson admired the dagger in his hand, clearly impressed. Ingrid warned him, don't go flashing that dagger around anywhere. Jackson apologized, and Ingrid thought to himself, he really does have a childish side. Huh? Chris leaned in and said, Captain, don't go chasing after her. That woman's terrifying. Ingrid responded, I'm not chasing anyone. You hear me? Chris chuckled. Still, isn't it weird? No matter how I think about it, those mercenaries had their eyes on that ugly guy. But then, out of nowhere, they started bringing up the name of Aspen. Flashback, Chris said, last night, we managed to calm them down for a bit. But during the interrogation, someone walked in asking for the boss, me, Chris, from Squad 4A. He claimed to be working for Lady Ilyona. They knew everything about the mercenaries, about the caravan. Turns out, the caravan had paid off the army to ensure a safe border crossing, hoping to get their answers. Ingrid thought silently, what were they really after? If it came out that Bolid was behind the assassination, would that end up harming Ilyona somehow? Ilyona sighed. What a relief. He wasn't the criminal after all. That would have stained the honor of the former caravan leader. Ingrid thought, the honor of a caravan leader? Is that worth risking your life for? Lena asked him, Captain Ingrid, I take it you're not interested in that kind of talk, right? He replied, what really matters is whether you're absolutely sure about what you're doing. Once you leave Holy Guard protection, we won't be able to shield you anymore. If another assassin shows up, Ilyona answered calmly, it's all right. That part of my story is already over. At that moment, a group of soldiers arrived, lined up in formation. Their leader stepped forward. I'm Matthias, captain of the caravan guard. I'm here to escort Ilyona, who has been unanimously elected as the new head of the caravan by the major stakeholders. He bowed to her. Lady Ilyona Lockford, he said, and the other knights followed his lead. Ingrid thought to himself, she willingly let herself get detained for 2 days, just so she could rally support, gather investors, and organize a vote. Loyalty, intelligence, and strategy. Just like Chris said, she's terrifying. Ilyona looked at him. I'm not going to ask you to come with me. Clinging to you would only weigh me down. But you have a power that inspires people to follow you. I hope we meet again someday, Captain Ingrid, and this time as friends. Ingrid smiled and nodded. I'd like that too. Suddenly, Bolid stormed out of his carriage. Matthias, you traitor. My father treated you like family. This is how you repay him. Matthias snapped back. Enough. Stop dragging your family's name through the mud, you disgrace. Meanwhile, inside Bolad's carriage, his men whispered, "Guess the plan failed, huh?" But the other replied, "Not entirely. We learned just how capable the new caravan leader is. And we also discovered something important about that exceptional soldier." So what's coming next? Will Ingrid face even greater challenges ahead? And that's the end of part 11. But trust me, this is just the calm before the storm. If you're ready for the next insane chapter, smash that like button, drop your wildest predictions in the comments, and stay locked in. Because part 12 is going to be next level. Stay legendary, and I'll see you there.